what I had done, I went to the federal court.
Mm-hmm.
And the federal court came up with a bogus excuse that I didn't pay the $5 filing fee because I brought the argument now to the federal court with the Dred Scott decision. And they said I didn't send the filing fee, the $5 filing fee, to have the case put on the calendar. And I did send the $5 filing fee. So what I had done, I wrote the head clerk and said, Miss, the courts are telling me I made out the disbursement form. You all processed the disbursement form. You all gave me the impression that you sent the $5 to the courts, but the courts are telling me they didn't get it. The head steward sent me a copy of the check, front and back, and the back of the check was endorsed by the Eastern District that they received the $5. So now, in the process, in the process of me writing them back to try to tell them, explain that, I sent a copy of the check, the copy of the disbursement form. So now they write. I got two letters. About 2 weeks later, I got about 2 weeks after that, I got two letters from the court. One letter, just so happened that when I opened it first, it said that, yes, we did receive. No, matter of fact, no, the first letter said, your refusal to send the $5 filing fee, based on that, we dismissing your
claim.
My writ of habeas corpus. But then when I opened the second letter said, we are sorry for any inconvenience. We did receive the $5 filing fee. So now with these two letters, I'm looking at it and I'm saying to myself, what should I do? Should I refile it, because they said that they dismissed it? So now I have to go through the process, refiling it and arguing, So I said to myself, you know what? In so many ways, I can almost imagine that they're going to pull another stunt. So I'm not even going to bother.
Wow, that's something else, because it sounds like to me, as always, it's a stall tactic to to negate their own reasoning and intent, while all the while messing up somebody else's life. That's what it is, basically, the deal in a nutshell. And they don't think about the consequences. But my next question, brother, was to ask you, with all that was going on and all that you researched and everything, what was it that held you all this time while you was away?
Well, basically studying, like I said, not only cases like the Dred Scott decision, because I was studying also fugitive slave cases. I was studying Plessy versus Ferguson, every case that dealt with the rights of black people, Brown versus Board of Education. But there's so many other cases that you never hear about. But my main objective was to educate people, to show that even though we're here in the United States and we claim to be entitled to everything or all rights that are afforded to to the founding, the descendants of the founding fathers, what it is that for some reason we are always in the courts striving to obtain these rights. And I ran across a case, it was a case called Civil Rights Cases. And one of the things that they said in that case, and I found this to be very, very
informative.
Not so enlightening.
Enlightening.
Fact,
all right. Yep.
It said, because I'm going to read it real quick.
What was the case?
The case is called Civil Rights Cases.
Okay.
And it says, when a man has emerged from slavery and by the aid of beneficent legislation has shaken off the inseparable concomitants of that state, there must be some stage in the progress of his elevation when he takes the rank of a mere citizen and ceases to be the special favorite of the laws, and when his rights as a citizen or a man are to be protected in the ordinary modes by which other men's rights are protected. So that case was saying that basically until black people get to the point where their rights are protected in the same manner as other people's rights that's protected, as opposed to being the special favorites of the laws, meaning that every time we go to court, or every time we have a complaint about something, we're going to the courts, and we're having the courts render a decision as to whether or not we are entitled to the rights that that would they consider the dominant race enjoy. And so this was before the Plessy versus Ferguson case. But what it was that I started using this type of language to show that even though I'm a black person, I shouldn't have to I shouldn't have to go through what I'm going through to make my point, to make you all see that the same rights that you give to, the person of the dominant race, I'm entitled. If you're saying that I'm a citizen, then I'm entitled to this, to the benefit of the laws. So
would you say that I've asked this question prior. I think it was during a lecture when I was in school, and I was asking. I said, do we feel that the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence are racist or was racist? And it's supposed to be where all human beings classified according to race, skin, color, or ethnicity, sex, religion, whatever, should all be equal. But, it really isn't. It really isn't.
Sure, it's not.
And it is sad that, they're inspiring black men, and Mr. Alla is one where he had to endure a long journey that I know must have been hard. But versus him, I can't even put myself in his shoes as to the mental capacity, and for him to be here among us today with such strong endurance and tenacity in the face of having to experience and go through something that was not your fault. I mean, you're put in a situation where it's like, do I keep fighting or do I give up fighting? Because nobody is hearing me or what we speak for. Nobody is hearing when we know this is what it says. So how do I keep going? And you said that what kept you going was the will to learn about our rights and laws so that you can be able to help someone or some people, or how about hundreds?
Right.
Because this is something that it hasn't just started. This is the caste system. It's just always something going on within the laws. And now that is so much going on politically in our government. And I just say things are being brought to the forefront now of what we always knew, but we really couldn't speak on. But you have so many brothers and some sisters too that are incarcerated by no fault of their own. And, what would you say? Because it's gonna be another part. It's gonna be another part. So we're gonna we're going to definitely have a part 2 in this because it's so much more that we have to cover. But what would you say, Mr. Alla, to the sisters and brothers out there that are holding on? What would you say to them?
Well, I mean, it depends on how people regard themselves. You have some people that actually believe, or I can't say believe, but they put themselves in this mindset as though being black is a stigma.
Mm.
And as long as a person, views themselves in that light,
mm-hmm.
they're never going to strive to how you say, reach in and pull out the potential
mm-hmm.
that they have. So you have people, it's just like when you go to prison and they have a Christmas show sometimes, and you see these guys performing instruments and songs and you wonder how with this talent, what is this man doing in prison?
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, not these men. I mean,
Right.
I have seen some Christmas shows, and not even that.
Mm-hmm.
Go up to the basketball court, and
Mm-hmm.
you see guys with so much talent, and you wonder why. But he wanted to sell drugs, as opposed to honing his skills. Who knows? He could have went to college, and maybe got a scholarship. I mean, because one thing for sure, there's no such thing as an inability to learn if you don't have a mental defect.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have something that impairs your ability to learn, and the thing is that a lot of people don't want to delve into certain things because they feel, because society has made them feel as though there's a ceiling, and once you reach that ceiling, and past that ceiling, you're not gonna make it. Now, people, when you get to the point where now you see a black president or a black vice president, now, but there were times when I was a kid you couldn't imagine that.
No, I know.
I mean,
you couldn't, and I know that there's so many things that have happened that our forefathers, like I'm often reminded of Martin Luther King when he said, I have seen, my mm-hmm. eyes have seen. I may not get there with you,
mm-hmm.
but I have seen. The same way, you have Medgar Evers and you have, Malcolm. You have so many things. But this is definitely going to be a part 2. And will you come back and grace this building, my brother?
I mean, if you would have me, I wouldn't have a problem coming back.
But my brother, it was an honor. What you think, right?
This topic, is deep because it needs more than an hour.
That's right. That's right.
To fully indulge in the ramifications that it has on us as a people.
Right.
So
Well, again, my brother, it was an honor and a blessing having you with us today. To Yah, the Creator, thank you. So if it wasn't for you, where would we be? To my kings and queens, thank you for tuning in and for your support. The rain has come. And guess what, y'all? I see rainbows over the horizon. Remember, with a little love, understanding, and edification, we too make it all right. Peace and love, y'all.